Okay, section 4, Bitcoin is digital cash. So we've been through the context, the course outline, new ideas challenging the status quo. What is the problem that we're trying to fix here? Bitcoin, where did it come from and why? Now we're looking at Bitcoin as digital cash. So I previously talked about Satoshi releasing the white paper, and the title of it was a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. I'm going to break this down further. If we simply take out the word electronic in this title, we have a peer-to-peer cash system. And this is just cash. It's paper money as we know it. The peer-to-peer means that there is nobody in the middle. I can go to my friend, I can give them a tenner, £10, $10, and the transaction is done. This is how things used to be done until the banks came in and privatized the system. So I want to ask you a question. If you wanted to send your friend some money digitally on the other side of the world, how would you do this without going through a bank or a payments provider or just having someone in the middle? You can't simply upload a paper note onto the internet and send it. There has to be someone in the middle, and that's usually a bank. Until now. When it comes to payments, Bitcoin is simply a cash system for the internet. Instead of relying on banks to verify the transactions, with Bitcoin, you have lots and lots of computers around the world verifying the transactions. I tried to simplify it a little bit further in this video. Have you ever wondered how Bitcoin works? Most explanations are pretty boring, so I'm here to spice things up. The current payment system works like this. Mrs. Basil wants to pay Mr. Paprika. They have to go through Mr. Pepper, who is the bank. Mr. Pepper is here to confirm that you have the money. And if you do, then he will update his records and take a small fee for his troubles. But Mr. Pepper has the control to reject any transactions because he has your money. But with Bitcoin, there is no middleman. Instead, it's thousands of computers around the world approving your transaction. But how is this? It's because each of these computers have a record of every single transaction that has ever happened on Bitcoin. And they must all play by the same rules. Bitcoin is simply everyone playing by the same rules, whereas bankers like to set their own rules. This is much like how the internet works. The internet allows us to send information around the world instantaneously without a middleman. Bitcoin is similar because instead of sending information, it just sends value. Let me show you a demonstration I did with professional England cricketer Tim Bresnan to highlight the power of Bitcoin when it comes to payments. This is using something called the Lightning Network, which is a fast payment solution that's built on top of Bitcoin.
So I know on the podcasts we talked about the Lightning Network. But Tim, you hadn't used it, and I totally forgot to show you a demonstration after. So this is the demonstration. I'm also seeing a lot of people not knowing what the Lightning Network is and the capabilities of it. So yeah, I pulled three of us together. Harry is in El Salvador, in Berlin. And Tim, you are in
West Yorkshire.
Yeah, and I'm in London. So we're going to send a payment all the way to El Salvador and then back to Yorkshire. And that'll happen in a matter of seconds, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. So yeah, Harry, put up your...
Let's do it.
Let's see. Right, I'm going to send you... Let's do 10,000 sats, which is £3. And sent. There you go.
There you go.
Right.
Oh, Okay, 10,000. Let's see, Tim.
Yeah,
Just-
no, you ping. Yeah.
You just need that, right? And you can get it. Hang on. If you first, there we go. Yeah.
There you go.
10,000. So leave it there. Tell me when you.
Oh,
It's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. I've got it now.
Keep it up. And it should click.
Anyone else watching wants to send me some? That's great. Oh, that is ridiculous.
There you go. That's an ideal demonstration of how fast this thing actually is. I think a lot of people don't realize that, and that we just done that in seconds. It's been across the world and back.
I've just bought a coffee in El Salvador with Lightning Network, and this hotel,
Yeah.
and the car that I'm renting, everything Bitcoin.
Following on from that, I also want to show you this video by a Bitcoin OG, Andreas Antonopoulos, who excellently describes this in a way that I just can't compete with. So here it is.
Bitcoin and blockchain technology unifies the systems of money. Today we have systems of money for small payments, systems of money for large payments. We have systems of money for payments between individuals. We have systems of money for payments between companies. We have systems of money for payments between governments. Does that remind you of something? That's how communication used to be before the internet. We had systems of communication for pictures, systems of communication for letters, systems of communication for short distance and long distance, and the internet came and unified all of those. What the Internet of Money does is it creates a single network which can do a microtransaction to a gigatransaction in seconds, anywhere in the world, for any participant without permission.
So I hope you now see it. Bitcoin is simply cash for the internet, which has no single point of failure. So the payment system is why Bitcoin exists. But let's go on to a jargon-free version of blockchain, which is a complete buzzword. I'm not going to bore you with it, but I'll show you why you don't need to confuse yourself with it. It's actually fairly simple when you break it down. So I'll admit, I'm no techie, and nor am I going to pretend to be. So this section is going to be short. And if you want to go deeper into it, then by all means, please do. But the analogy I'll use to explain it is about a car. And I will put more details to further research and resources if you want to go into it further. But stick with me for this bit, because you might find this interesting. A lot of people use cars every day, getting them from A to point B. But if I were to do a survey on these drivers to give me a deep explanation of how an internal combustion engine works, then I'd happily say the majority of people couldn't give me an answer, yet they use it every day. So with that in mind, blockchain is the thing that Bitcoin runs on. It's essentially just a big, open, transparent database. It's nothing new, as it was around for well over a decade before Bitcoin. Satoshi just found a use for it, along with other technological advancements, which just culminated in the formation of Bitcoin. This is a great chart to demonstrate it, which you can pause at this point and look through it at your own pace. Going back to blockchains, the use in Bitcoin is that it's used as a ledger, which is just a record of transactions and data, much like your bank has a ledger. If you spend £5 or $5, €5, €5, whatever currency you use, if you use that at a shop, then the bank will send the money to the shop and deduct £5 from your account. But if you try to view the bank's big ledger with everyone's transactions on it, there's no way, because it's a closed ledger. Only they can see all the transactions going through the bank. Whereas Bitcoin is an open ledger. You can literally see every single transaction that has ever happened on Bitcoin's blockchain. You can't see any personal information or the sender or receiver's identity, but you can see value being sent from point A to point B. So I've linked to a cool tool where you can view everything that's happening on Bitcoin in real time. And I've also put in a few more resources to dive deeper into this subject if you wish to go deeper.